Reddit by Reddit recap. In general, women are grosser than men. I'm a woman. Here's my reasoning. I worked janitorial jobs for almost 10 years. In various settings. Banks. Doctors' offices. Businesses. Gas stations. Etc. The women's restroom was always, 100% of the time, nastier. Things in the toilet I can't even begin to describe. Toilet paper everywhere. Poop on the walls and the seats. Spit and makeup on the mirrors. And blood on everything. All the time. In 10 years of cleaning for a living. The grossest thing I saw in a men's restroom was poop stains in the toilet. I worked for $1 million company where everyone dressed up and had money, and the women destroyed their bathrooms. Sometimes I wasn't even sure the things I saw came out of humans. Secondly, the grossest cars and bedrooms I've been in were women's. In female friends' homes I've seen rotten cheese under the bed, curdled milk on the nightstand, dirty streaked underwear on the floor, dog shit, used condoms, and more. I've never seen worse than dirty clothes on a man's bedroom floor. Women are far nastier than men. Friend I work with confirmed this. There were rumors at work that the female bathrooms had couches in them. So I asked her about it. She said they used to. But she wouldn't sit in them. Asked about it and she repeated everything that OP said. She also said the worst thing was a lingering smell of dirty hoo-ha's. What sane person would sit on a couch in a bathroom? Rich people, man. It's decorative. There's a couch like every 10 feet in a few of the offices I'm in. Hallway couches, elevator couches, locker room couches. Couch in every office. But no one ever sits on them. Too much space. Need something large and decorative to cover it up. When I was fresh out of high school I worked at a grocery store. My manager told me there was poo on the walls and I had to clean them. Someone wrote, "Are you in poop really big? Men's or women's bathroom?" You know the answer. I go in a lot of houses. Maybe 9,000 in 9 years. Blokes living on their own tend to be reasonably tidy but live sparsely. Maybe a 30-year-old sofa with no cushions or ornaments. Very few soft furnishings. Women on their own tend to have lots of soft furnishings and a well-presented house, but the bathrooms are almost always an absolute shitfest. So we've established that they are. But why? Ha. Not expecting that of the bathrooms. My experience of most women's cars have been pretty bad. But wow. Interesting. Why take away reason and accountability? The first time I saw that film and heard that line, I was young and didn't get it. So, I didn't laugh. The second time I saw that film and heard that line, it was 10 years later. I had some experience and frustrations under my belt. So, I laughed. The third time I saw that film and heard that line, I was much older. Yet again, I was tired, disillusioned, dismayed, and bitter. So, I didn't laugh. Let's see what life has yet to offer. Women's bathrooms are absolutely disgusting. What's worse is when you have to wait in line and take the next empty stall and you make eye contact with the lady that left piss all over the ducking seat and they walk away casually like they aren't the most disgusting person on the planet. I was at the JFK airport in the women's restroom doing my makeup at the sink. And the janitors had just finished cleaning and were packing up their cart. This nasty bitch strolls out of the bathroom stall. Casually throws out, "By the way, that's my mess on the floor. Sorry about that." And then leaves without even washing her hands. I might add, one of the janitors walked over and peeked in the stall. And then let out an outburst of what I could only imagine was swearing in another language. There was blood dripping all down the toilet and collecting in a puddle on the freshly mopped floor. The two janitors had to pull out fresh gloves and a bodily fluids cleaning kit. All the while talking shit in whatever their native language was. I felt so bad for them. Some people are just absolute trash. That's just ducking disgusting. Jesus. Yes. At my university I remember very clearly when I was studying in the library one time. It has 4 levels. Each level has men's and women's toilets. I really needed to pee, so went to the bathroom on the level I was studying in. Walked in. Checked the stalls because I don't wanna sit in someone's poop. Each stall had either explosive diarrhea, a whole bunch of toilet paper with blood on top of it, used pads, tampons, or just your casual unflushed monster poop. So after gagging a bit, I went up a level. Women's toilet out of order. Probably same thing. Went up another level. Out of order. Went to the last one. Out of order. Really needed to pee, so I left the library. The bathroom I'd originally gone to was now out of order, and had to pee in the building where my classes were, which was thankfully a lot cleaner. So yes, women are ducking disgusting. Wipe your pee. Flush your poop and learn how to dispose of sanitary items. Yeah, nasties. 1000% agree with this. Even working retail, the women were disgusting. Can't count the number of times we'd find used feminine products left in the change rooms. And yes, even found shit once or twice. It's mind-boggling. I'm a dude. When I worked at Tim Hortons, I had to clean both bathrooms. The worst about the men's room was that it kinda smelled like urine plus urinal cakes. The worst about the women's? Dear God. Where do I start? Bloody shit on the floor. Blood on the seats. Sanitary pads strewn about the floor in front of the garbage can. Shit graffiti, though that was only one time. The works. I thought the worst thing you'd have to deal with at a Timmy's are the used needles from people shooting up. That's the employee bathroom. At school, there was a brief trend of sticking your used sanitary towel on the back of the toilet door. I have no idea why. When I was in school, there was trend of scrunching up toilet paper into balls, wetting them, and then throwing them at the ceiling. This is in fact still a trend. A little bit of soap does wonders if it ain't sticking. Source. One of the janitors, of all people, told me back in school. I'm also a woman and I've worked in the collision industry for the last decade and can confirm. Women's cars are the ducking nastiest. I get that maybe you have kids and maybe don't always have time to clean your car. But FFS. Piles of rotting food in the back. Snot Kleenexes strewn about. Melted crayons. Crusty ass socks and underwear, and best yet, used tampons. It takes 30 seconds to toss stuff in the trash at the gas station. Go on Pinterest and find a makeshift garbage can, literally anything. Or just please clean your car before you bring it to a mechanic or an auto body shop. I can't tell you how appreciated it is, and it will likely get better detailing and cleaning than one piled full of rotting food. This makes me feel better about my dirty cup holders. My boyfriend's guy friend thought it'd be cute to leave some candies in there for me for later. In 100 degrees weather. Do admit, I always leave mail in my car. I read it in the car, and then leave it for about a month. But I only ever get the mail once a week, so it evens out. No one has ever cared about a mess of papers. That's not gross. I get that maybe you have kids and maybe don't always have time to clean your car. I get where you're coming from. But having kids is not an excuse to have a car full of trash. I've seen my former boss' car and she had 2 kids. 13 and 5 or something. Whenever I got in her car, not just the back seats but also the front passenger's seat, full of trash. Like crumbs and shit on the seats. Wrapping paper. Plastic bottles under. Trash in the glove box. They were just lazy, irresponsible people. And they obviously didn't teach their kids anything different. If your child, Ren, are older than 4 and you have all your limbs functional, there's no understandable excuse to having trash inside the car. I can confirm. Cleaned an amusement park's bathrooms. I get the whole period thing. But do ladies really have to swing their used tampons around and get blood on the ceiling? That was a beach to clean up. How can you swing it around and not get any on yourself? Good ducking question. Really? You just hold it out in front of you and swing it vertically. Like jump roping but with one hand. I'm a woman and this is horrifying to me. How people can stand to be dirty and live in dirty environments. WTF man. Edit. I just said WTF man because that sounds better phonetically than WTF woman lol. Exactly. Sharts angrily. I'm a woman and I'm confused because I've worked in bars and restaurants and places I've had to clean the bathrooms. Plus I've just been out a lot of places like concerts and clubs where I've used the bathrooms. And I've never witnessed anything being described in this thread. And I've definitely never known anyone to have old food or used tampons just strewn about in their car. Yo, I was a janitor and we all thought women were complete pigs. The women's bathroom versus men's was like night and day. Working retail led me to this conclusion. Women absolutely destroy stacks of clothes. Doesn't matter what it is. Shirts, jeans, camis, or how well they're organized. They dig through them like they're little ducking gremlins who have no idea how to take 2 seconds to fold something back up and put it away. Or even lift the stack and grab what you want instead of toppling it like it's Jenga and you're trying to lose. That's the reason the women's section has racks next to the changing rooms to put the clothes they don't like. Can't trust them to put it back correctly. I used to be a front-end manager for Sam's Club during college and we always called this the exploding woman syndrome. At least once a month there would be an explosion of shit in the women's restroom. Not once did we ever have that in the men's room. But it was at least a monthly occurrence in the women's. Part of me believes that the push for unisex bathrooms is so men can be subjected to the horrors that is the ladies' restroom. Poop on the wall? Yikes. What the duck went on in there? Man. You know how it goes. You look in the bowl and it's kind of the shape of a big brown crayon. So you reach in because you wanna try to write your name. But it's a lot softer than a crayon so it starts squishing all over your hands while you're trying to write. Then you wipe your hands all over the inside of the stool to try and get the bulk off before you hit the sink for a final wash. Suddenly your funny little prank has turned into another stall with poo smeared all over the walls. WTF. My words exactly. I'm a janitor and no one believes me when I tell them this. I'm quite glad someone out there agrees. Respect. I worked as a cleaner in a train station before. And let me tell you. The women's toilet often has shit that missed the toilet. Like. As if they were hanging from the ceiling. Swinging. And trying to score points. I cleaned the bathrooms and dressing room of a strip club when I bar back there and it was disgusting. Bloody tampons everywhere. Best comment of the day. Well, according to my ex-best friend I broke girl code, but siding with her still husband. Story time. Best friend, L, calls me at 9, very drunk, wanting me to pick her up from her brother's house because she's cut herself and she just wants to die and her husband is suddenly abusive and all this crazy shit happened. So I jump in my car, fuming because I had a boyfriend who beat me and tried to strangle me a couple times and I couldn't handle having that happen to her. I'm bisexual and I always secretly was in love with her. I pick her up and she did not cut herself, which was a relief, but she smells like she took a vodka shower. Keep in mind Elle was never a drama queen. Ever. It's another reason we were close until she got married. Her husband was the nicest and chilliest dude ever, so I was in shock he would abuse her, especially in front of their 5-month-old baby girl. I get her calmed down, and we hang out and talk and she cries, and I hold her, and at some point I'm like, let's go pack a bag together at your house. I'm sure me being there will help. She eventually agrees, and we drive to her house and we walk in. Her husband has locked himself in their bedroom with the baby. There's broken glass, bottles, and a full-length mirror all over the floor. I knock on the bedroom door and hear her husband say, "Elle, you know I can't let you back in here until you calm down. The baby just stopped crying and we are scared. I love you, but please for our family don't break anything else." I said it was me, and he opened the door and their room was destroyed. Holes in walls, more broken glass and mirrors. I thought she would say something like, "Don't you blame this on me, you did this," because I had believed her. She sulks and literally says I'm sorry to him. Completely blows me off like I'm not there, and like she didn't lie to me. So I cleaned their house, while they calmly talked. The next day I reached out to her husband to ask if all of them were okay, because she wasn't answering the phone. He said yes, and thanked me for bringing her home, and being understanding, and that she's been getting crazy when she drinks. My brother was an alcoholic, I get it, and all I said was that she should quit drinking, and that I'd be there for her and their family for some support, because quitting any substance can be incredibly difficult. I didn't tell him she lied and said it was him or anything, because that's extra drama, and as far as I knew I was the only one she called that night. She saw that we had messaged and that I was the one who reached out, even though it was only to see if they were okay that morning. She said that I was a piece of shit and that clearly I'm not her best friend if I'm talking about her needing to quit drinking, and that I'm taking his side over hers. Like, bitch, yeah, fucking lied. 14 years of friendship down the drain. It's been years since this happened, and she still has me blocked and everything.